Have you guys seen the Publix commercial where the girl is dropping 2 jalapenos in a blender and the husband looks really scared for dinner? Well, today I've got the recipe. Check this out.
Bigfoot cooking.
Hey everybody, and welcome back to Bigfoot Cooking, where today we are making the jerk chicken from the Publix commercial. That's right. Have you watched the commercial where it's got the song in the background, everybody eats when you come to my house? Well, one of the recipes they make there is jerk chicken. This is the magic that makes it taste so good. What do you need? We'll start out with 3 pounds of chicken. Now, whatever chicken you like to use, you can use just breast meat, the whole chicken, whatever. In this case, I kind of like the drumsticks. So we're gonna do 3 pounds of drumsticks. We're gonna have a yellow onion, 4 bunches of green onions, 1 to 2 jalapenos, depending on your flavor. You gotta put a little heat in there, otherwise it's not the jerk chicken. But you could even use habaneros if you really want to up your game some. But for this one, we're going to use 2 jalapenos. We're going to use about 10 sprigs of thyme. Now we're going to go ahead and pull the stems off of them as well, like you'll see later. We'll need a half a cup of soy sauce, a 1/4 cup of vegetable oil, 2 tablespoons, got to get my measurements right, 2 tablespoons of apple cider vinegar. We're going to use, it's going to wind up being about a tablespoon of ginger, but a knob of ginger, as they like to say. 2 cloves of garlic, about 2 to 3 limes, depending on how big you get. You want about 1/3 cup of juice and zest once you're done with it. 2 tablespoons of brown sugar, 2 teaspoons of nutmeg, and a tablespoon of cinnamon. All that together is going to be so good. So let's get started with some cooking. Now to start this event out, we're going to take our onion, turn it into little bitty onion pieces, fast like. Watch and see. And just like that, many pieces. We'll go ahead and drop this into the food processor. Now, if you don't have a food processor, you can use a blender, but you're not trying to turn this into soup. We're just trying to chop it up slowly, nicely, gently yet aggressively. Hence the whirling blade. Now, to continue down the path of onions, we'll take our sprigs of onion tails here, and we'll chop them up into about 1/2-inch pieces and pop them in there. Now the recipe itself actually calls for more than I'm putting in here, but sometimes when you go to the store, they don't have everything you need. And so you work with what you can get. See, that's the joy of cooking some of these things. If something doesn't work out perfectly, adjust your recipe a little bit. Just about nobody will know. So now, let's smash up some garlic. Now usually you see guys take the back of the knife and just kind of smash. If you're worried about that, you can actually like high karate it too. You can just take your palm and hit it the same way. The goal is basically to crack the skin off of it so you can peel it off. Just like that. And then you have your garlic. Like I say, it just depends on how comfortable you are hitting a knife. Don't be scared to, say, it makes me a little nervous. It's okay. Like I say, punch it. Helps out with some aggression too. And into the food processor. Next, let's work on our ginger. Now with your ginger, you can do it a couple of different ways. You could take a knife and peel it. You could take a peeler and peel it. Or something I've seen recently, you just take a spoon and you dig into it and you scrape off the outside of it. Just like that. Gets all the skin off of it and makes it more gingery. That's right, gotta get in between its toes. I don't know what do you call that part of the ginger that's like down in the valley in the rut? Would they be toes? I don't know. I just know it smells really nice. And I gotta admit, the spoon thing actually works pretty good. I'm kind of impressed. Now let's chop it up. And there you have it, a little bit of prep ginger. Probably more than the recipe calls for, but again, change things how you like. Me, I like ginger. Oh, it tastes so good. And in here, it'll just bring out a little bit more of that bite. So now that it's in here, let's go ahead and let's prep the limes, because we got a lot of dry stuff in here. We need a little liquid. Let's get the lime juice. Now the zest of anything, be it an orange, be it a lime, I don't know, can you do banana zest? I haven't seen it, but I suppose it's possible. But all you're gonna do is take the outer color on it and take your grater. In this case, I've got one of the smaller ones. You could use a box grater or whatever you want. And you're just gonna drag it across it and get all that color off of it. So you get that little bit of white underneath it, the pith, and you need to stop there because you don't wanna get the white into it. That changes the flavor. It's more of a bitter flavor, whereas the shell, it's got a lot more of a citrus flavor. So let me zippity-doo-dah all these down and we'll get to some juicing. Now the nice thing about this is as you're sitting here kind of working on zesting it, you actually kind of squeeze and work the lime. And what that does, that helps soften it up inside. So when you go to juice it, it makes it a lot easier to squish that juice out. You'll see in just a second. As you see, this right here is the zest that we got off of all three of them. It doesn't look like much, but it does pack a tangy punch, that's for sure. So we got that. Let's go ahead and let's slice us a lime in half. I don't know why I keep calling them lemons. I guess I'm hopeful. But we got our lime and let's just juice it. Now, yes, they do make nice fancy things to do this, but guess what? I don't have one. What do you do when you don't have something? You find a workaround. In this case, phalanges. We working around and we juicing. Now, mashing the limes by hands will teach you one thing. It'll teach you some muscle building techniques, and two, it'll teach you if you've got the least little cut on your hand right where it's at. Lime juice hurts. We got our limes now. Let's go ahead and pour these into our magic kettle of goodness here. Oh, can't forget all the stuffy stuff. There we go. Now, jalapeno time. Now for the jalapenos, the hot part about a jalapeno is not actually the green part. It's what's inside. Now I'm gonna slice this guy long ways so you can get a good look at it. If you go right into it, this part right here, the white meaty part and the seeds, that's what has your capsaicin, I believe is what it's called. And that's where your heat is, right inside of there. The green, there's some mild heat, but it's not the kind that's gonna knock your taste buds back to Tennessee. So what we're gonna do, we're gonna take a spoon, we're gonna dig this stuff out and then slice it up and pop it in the little magic kettle right here. And there you have it. Two warm, but not hot jalapenos. Now let me do the other one and we'll chop it up. And there we go. We turned 2 into 4, and now we're gonna turn 4 into 40. Now, could you just drop them in there? Yes, you can. The food processor will actually chop these up, but you have to run things longer, and we're not trying to make a soup, we're trying to make a marinade. So you still want to have some of the chunks, but not all of it. This is why we're doing a little bit of pre-prep work and chopping things up a bit. And into the kettle, the magic kettle of goodness. That's it, no more knifing, now it's juicing. Now because thyme, although it smells great, it actually has a bit of a thicker stem. You want to grab the stems and strip the leaves off of it. So that way you're left with the chewier parts, the more woody parts. They don't go in the mix, because if you did, it's just going to stick in your teeth and it's not going to work the way you want. So let's strip these guys all the way down. In goes the brown sugar, the loop. In goes the cinnamon. All of it. Come on now. Nobody gets left behind. A little bit of nutmeg, our apple cider vinegar, which smells really weird. It seems odd to put vinegar into something because vinegar by itself, I don't like the taste, but I tell you what, it brings out the flavor of so much. You gots to have it. In goes our oil, so that way it makes it a little bit sticky and it holds to the chicken. And of course, our soy sauce. Everybody in there. Oh yeah, man, this jerk chicken, it's gonna be the bomb. Wait until we get it done. I tell you, you're gonna love it. It's gonna be one of the favorites. The biggest step in this is not to forget this, because you're not trying to jerk your whole kitchen, you're just trying to jerk the chicken. Big difference in the flavor, man. And we're just gonna hit the chop on this, because again, you're not trying to make a puree, you're not making a soup, you still want some of the chunk, but we have to have enough liquid to go in here and cover all the goodness. So, by the power of electricity, let's take a look at what's in here and see if we like the texture, if we want to go a little bit more down. See, you've got it chopped up, you've got the juice, everything's good. I think I'm gonna run it just a little bit more. Like I say, that's got a nice chunky to it. but I'm gonna make it just a little bit thinner. Again, however you like your marinade, do it how you like. But in this case, again, not soup, but a little bit better than that. All right, let's take a second look at it. Oh, I like that. It's still got lots of pieces, lots of texture to it, but a little bit more broke down. Let's go ahead and prep it for the chicken. All right, we're gonna take our puree, and what you're gonna do, you're gonna save about a 1/4 cup of it for later, because after the marination occurs, we're gonna use this to add just a little bit to the kickoff at the end. We're gonna take this, bathe all our chicken in it. Oh, look at that, look at that. Nothing will be without flavor, I guarantee it. We're just gonna smear this around to make sure everybody's covered in it. Because, oh, this is gonna bake up and be so good. Now, the smaller the pan, the better, because that way it soaks everything up. Matter of fact, you could even, if you got a big freezer bag, you could put this all in a freezer bag and let it soak in. And you wanna let this stuff marinate. You're not just coating it and baking it. You want this at a minimum of 2 hours, but preferably you make this one day, let it sit in the fridge overnight, which is what we're gonna do. We're gonna let it soak in this all night, and then tomorrow, we're gonna make the jerk chicken. We're gonna say goodbye to this for now, and we'll see y'all tomorrow. All right, so after soaking in the fridge all night to get that jerk flavor into the chicken, what we've done, we actually brought it out of the fridge about an hour ago and let it sit here and kind of warm up, kind of get a little bit closer to room temperature to get some of that chill off of it. Now what we're gonna do, we're gonna lay all this chicken onto we coated a pan in aluminum just for the cleanup later on, make life easier. But we're gonna take our chicken, put it into the pan and set it into the oven at 375, where we're gonna bake it for probably 30, 45 minutes. We're after 165 degrees inside the chicken to make sure it's done. Now, like you see, I'm trying to make sure I get all the seasoning that was left behind and make sure there's a little bit on all this, because it's the flavor we're after. I'm telling y'all, this is gonna be so good. Guys, while our chicken's cooking, let me tell y'all about another Bigfoot sighting they found. This old boy, he decided he was gonna get into the gardening. Check this out. He's out there working in an above ground bed. I guess he's getting ready to plant his seeds. I'm not sure, because if you look, he's spreading the hay out, trying to, I guess, condition the soil, make things grow better. I don't know. Maybe a Bigfoot is really in tune with nature. Maybe a Bigfoot knows what's going on when it's time to grow vegetables. He might be the best thing that you could find during the apocalypse. I mean, he may know how to grow them veggies and keep your tum-tum happy. Or he could just be making it into a big old bed where he's gonna take a nap. Who knows? I do know that I like it when you guys click the subscribe button down there, turn the subscribe to a subscribe duh. That makes me kind of happy, because this jerk chicken, when it comes out, ooh, it's gonna be so worth the wait. Let's check on it and see how it's going. And there we go, coming out of the oven. And ooh, look at this. But we ain't done yet. Oh, not by a long shot. We got a little more to put on top of it. Now, I know you think it looks good, but what we're gonna do, we're gonna take a little bit more of our jerk, set it on here, and we are actually gonna supercharge what we got, this leftover stuff. Because, oh, a little bit of braising on top wouldn't be a bad thing now, would it? And what we're gonna do, like I say, we'll coat these guys up. We'll get about half of them done. And then I got a little surprise for y'all. Upon my journeys through this world, I stumbled across Roadside Distilling up in Blairsville, Georgia. They have what's called the Reaper. It is a bourbon that they soaked for 30 days in Carolina Reapers. Ooh, it changes your life. Check out this other video if you don't believe me. Now, we're gonna take some of this. We're gonna take literally the cap that comes on it. We're gonna take a cap full of this and no more, because the heat that comes from this, it's there. We're gonna add our cap full to what's left. It's gonna give us some spice, some heat, and some of that Carolina Reaper flavor. But hopefully, not too much. If not, I'm gonna be eating some hot wings later on. We'll take this guy, coat the rest of these, get them ready for dinner. I'll tell you what, they smell good too. I will give them that. This jerk chicken, this has got to be delicious. All right, y'all gotta help me remember. because not everybody likes the heat around here. I got 5 regular jerk and I got 4 jerky jerk, or you just gotta be a real jerk to eat it, one of the two. I ain't sure which, but I know, ooh, we gonna add the heat. Now from here, we put them back in the oven. We broil them for about 3 minutes to put a little crisp on it. And when they come out this time, we eat them. All right, we got these guys pulled out of the oven. And oh, take a look at that. Well done to perfection. Now what do you say we get these guys off of here, put them on a plate and get ready to eat? Now I was told I had to separate my Reaper chicken from my regular jerk chicken. Something about, you know, if it's that hot and take the house and some other things. So I said, yes, ma'am, we'll have 2 dishes here. I don't want you to get confused. I like it spicy, she not so much. So let's see how this stuff right here tastes, because I'm telling you, the smell is awesome. It's time for that bite. And yes, I think I've given it enough time to cool down so that I don't burn myself. We're gonna find out. Get me a nice big hefty piece right here. Ooh, this looks good. Tell it bye-bye. Hold on. You know, I was worried it was gonna be a little too hot, but actually that little bit of Reaper right there gives it a nice finish. The jerk is actually pretty good. It's not too strong on the taste buds. Now, if you want a real jerk, there's a whole different process for that. But this is the Publix recipe. This is keeping it simple, and this is pretty good. So now that you know how to do this, you know that Bigfoot is real. I'm really gonna have me some dinner. Y'all take care.